Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to have a chat about the controversial new Summoners market. And I think there is some really good stuff for this, and also some bad stuff, some concerns moving forward, and just stuff you need to be aware of. And I think the biggest thing is going to be scammers. Like, I really do see a scenario moving forward where there's a big kind of coordinated attack to put out a fake store where a scammer completely like clones the store, has a very similar URL to it on something like Cyber Monday or Black Friday, compromises a load of Telegram accounts, and just gets like a fake link being circulated around with offers that just look unreal, like 10 7-star champions for like an Odin's or something like crazy like that, that would have all of the whales going, oh, dude, I'm going to put, my game details, my bank details directly into this website. So that's just something to be really careful of moving forward, because I think we are going to see somebody attempt that. And that is something I think that has happened many, many other times in my experience online when people do kind of have web-based stores as well. So make sure, again, you are going through the official channels if you do want to find the store. I'll have a link to it as well in the YouTube comment section and description, but make sure you get the right store, the right official Marvel Contest of Champions website bookmarked, and that you never attempt, no matter if you start on July 4th and there are all these amazing looking offers, you just always check the URL, always make sure you're on the correct website, because again, I just don't want to see anybody in this community get rinsed by that. And I think, again, that is a security concern that I haven't really seen talked about with the implementation of this, which could be a reality moving forward, So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a heads up, make sure everybody's as protected, as well-versed as they could be. But again, I think, that is kind of an inevitability that somebody probably will get burned with something like that moving forward. So that, I think, is, for me, probably like the biggest con when it comes to having like a web-based store. The second one is, instead of going through Apple or Google, and you're going through Xsolar as well, I believe it's a lot more difficult, the whole refund procedure, and you don't kind of have the level of protection. So make sure, if you do want to spend money on this game via this store, you are well aware that that money is going to be completely incinerated forever. I mean, spending on Marvel Contest of Champions, you should be aware of this anyway as well. But, just some stuff I wanted to put out there beforehand. On the much more positive side of things, this is an absolute potential game changer for Marvel Contest of Champions moving forward. Because one of the big things that bogs down mobile games, you see mobile games making crazy amounts of money. Like Marvel Contest of Champions, on average, every single year, there's about 220 to 240 million, kind of around in that ballpark. It's crazy, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yet you look at all these games and the problems that they have, and the quality and the pace of like really substantial updates and improvements. And you compare it to something like World of Warcraft like 15 years ago, and they were just pumping out like mega expansions every 2 years. And one of the big reasons is like Apple and Google take 30% of all revenue. So lifetime now, we're close to, what is it, 9 years? We're probably about 1.8 billion or something, like total lifetime revenue for Marvel Contest of Champions. Like 1.8 billion. It's such a silly, absurd number that you just barely can comprehend it. But all of that has gone through the Google and Apple Play stores, and that's probably about 600 million that we've sent them. And you don't get anywhere near that level of value back. That doesn't go into game development. It doesn't really even go into advertising. It's so rare, again, that like people actually browse on the App Store nowadays. It's a lot of like looking on YouTube or TikTok and seeing like ads and gameplay videos coming up, or in the case of this game, just a lot of people will just search like Marvel games and just kind of like find it via the search engines on Google, YouTube, the App Store organically. They're not going out of their way to actually promote this stuff. So it's crazy to me that since the start of everything, we've given like $600 million as a community to like Apple and Google. And you have a look at the budget for something like, Hogwarts Legacy budget, right? You look at this, man. If you've played Hogwarts Legacy, dude, the game is mega. And the estimated budget for it is about 150 million. Most AAA games, have something in the region of like 50 million to maybe 200 million in terms of their budget. But you think, over the last, like, what is it, 9 years, we've given this middleman system $600 million. Like, imagine if even like 25% of that, the whole budget for Hogwarts Legacy was like actually used to hire people that were going to stabilize Marvel Contest of Champions, make new content, kind of improve everything. It'd be amazing. It truly would be amazing. So, you know, revenue directly going through this, going through Xsola, and having like a 1 to 2% fee instead of a 30% fee taken off, even a kind of like average monthly revenue, assuming that all money did go through this store, which again, it's going to take a long time for people to get comfortable with that. And again, as we talked about, it does have its problems as well. That would theoretically be 6 million more, that they're directly getting. And that's absolutely huge. That's a potential game changer, up to, 60 million more a year. And let's assume, if we could just get 25% of that kind of reinvested into MCOC, it would actually allow a particular budget for maybe a team to go out and rebuild kind of the foundation of the game, because we kind of see with every single update that there appears to be some very core, base level vulnerabilities and just stuff that constantly seems to fall apart. So, I'd really, really like to see that happen. And I think, that before this, with Apple and everything, it didn't stand a chance of ever happening. But I think now it has the potential to happen if Netmarble want to continually reinvest in Marvel Contest of Champions. Because, there's a whole hierarchy, a whole structure to understand here where, Netmarble, they brought Kabam. If you're an OG, you remember this, like back in, what was it, 2016 now? Crazy, dude. December 2016. And we were so optimistic back then. Like, after 2 years of operating, they almost made about 500 million, and they brought them for 800 million. But again, up until that point, I think they've probably made about they've grossed about like 1.4, 1.5 billion with Marvel Contest of Champions. But again, they've been paying 30% to Apple. Also, one thing you need to consider as well with Marvel Contest of Champions is the Marvel licensing fee. I'm sure that doesn't come cheap. I imagine that's at least like 15 to 20%. So we've been in this scenario for a very long period of time where, us as players, we've been handing over the pie, but Apple's been getting their cut. Marvel's been taking a big piece as well. Netmarble, I think Marvel rightfully so, because, it's their brand, and I completely understand that. And they've just, they put a limitless material there. And Netmarble as well, like actually buying Kabam, they want to see a profit as well, man. They want to see a profit. I imagine with this, they're going to take a little bit more money. But the main thing is that Marvel Contest of Champions has been, pretty much their top performing game as long as I can remember, dude. Really has. Like, it has just stayed dominantly at the top throughout, many other cycles with different, gacha and anime games and all sorts of stuff that's popped up. Nothing has been as sustained when it comes to, just actually making revenue, making cash, just being the breadwinner, the Marvel Contest of Champions. So I'd really, really hope with this change, again, if more money is going through this store, that we start to see more reinvested into Marvel Contest of Champions. And again, I think there's definitely like cynics out there that are going to be like, that's never going to happen. Like, Kabam, they're just trying to milk this game for everything that it is, and then just close it down. And I think like with the way that, the community's been treated this year and how like aggressive they are with pushing monetization forward for like relics and 7-star champions, and like getting the revive fight, like I can understand that's like a total valid feeling and opinion. And if you're somebody that's like, Kabam definitely like not going to improve, like they just suck, like I don't blame you. I can understand how you got to that line of thinking, because this year, like I would say community sentiment around them, actually fixing the game and making really solid improvements is probably one of the lowest it has ever been. I see a lot of people just heavily burned out in many different directions, and I'm kind of at this place where I got really burned out. I had my break, and I'm just enjoying playing casually at my own pace now. But I understand that. And if you feel that way, that's totally valid. But I think at the end of the day, Netmarble are a business. And I don't think they'll want Marvel Contest of Champions to stop being a cash cow that they can milk. Because the thing is, they've just done so much foundational work with Marvel Contest of Champions that there's just like infinite potential for making like great content and, you know, porting some of the assets to like different games. If they ever want to do like a 3D fighter variant off spin, one that's like actually good and not like, what was it, Realm of Champions? That game sucked, dude. That was absolute ass. But yeah, if they ever wanted to like use the just amazing library of characters that they've built, because I think it's like really weird as well. Just one thing I noticed in the last couple of years, how they've got kind of these hyper scaled up, you know, 3D models of all the characters that they make that they use for then the promotional trailers. You know, and they look like they should be in a like a proper fighting game. So I'm really like curious as to kind of their long term plans with, you know, foundationally everything that they've built so far, because they still have one of the largest rosters of any fighting game ever. I don't know for full comparison, but you know, we're at 250. I think Jax was saying on the live stream earlier that the largest other fighting game roster he could find was like 89. So it is just crazy, like the amount of stuff that they've built. But I think again that the main thing a lot of the community is looking for is like, firstly, just want to see the base game stabilized, and then we want to see a truckload of new content, man. I like Paragon variants, Galactus raids, like there's all sorts of really, really cool stuff you could do. I'd like more modes of Battlegrounds as well, but Battlegrounds, dude, yeah, again, it just goes back to the foundational thing of there needs to be a level of stability there as well. And then on top of that, again, I've kind of waffled on about that point, which I think is the bigger point overall, that this could be, again, a huge revenue generation opportunity for them, but the money actually goes, you know, a percentage hopefully to the development, and hopefully that's going to be really good. But yeah, overall, as consumers, if you just don't care about any of that stuff and you just want better offers, hey, you got them. You know, you can get more units. There's much better currency conversion rates as well on this website for many people outside of the US. Like, it's so much cheaper for me. I get like combined with the bonuses, probably about 30% more on every single Odin. So for me, like, this is phenomenal, man. This is really, really good if I want to do like a cheeky bit of July 4th whaling. So yeah, I'm excited about that just from like a spender point of view. But yeah, like overall, I think there's some cool stuff. Again, this is definitely gonna what is it, inflate the whale economy a bit more. But they always, you know, there is that thing of like, they'll always need to catch free-to-play players up at a certain pace. So if they're, you know, selling loads of stuff, loads of 7-star shards, loads of 7-star champions, all of this, you know, crazy stuff later this year, then eventually free-to-play rewards will continue to, you know, get spiced up a little bit as well. So there is that. But at the end of the day, this game has and always will be a pay-to-win Clown Fiesta and a massive Whale Fiesta as well. So yeah, this also feels like, again, it comes at a bit of a weird time because a lot of people, again, I think, you know, at least until the, you know, until this, what was it, July 4th offers or July weekend offers pop up, are like, you know, I hate Kabam, dude. They just been making a load of crap decisions this year. And again, I think that's totally valid as well. They're not really like, oh gosh, yeah, like Kabam, just take all my money right now. Well, some whales are, especially those 7-star Paragon crystals. But yeah, it's just a little bit of an interesting and weird time for the game. But again, I do have my concerns about how this has been dished out. And I think Kabam also have a bit more of a responsibility to think about scenarios in which people will try to scam the community and infiltrate them and send around dodgy links for cloned versions of this site. So yeah, I think there are problems. It's not clean cut. It's not an absolute win. I don't think it's an absolute loss as well. But yeah, I think we'll see how it goes with the summoners market. And again, nothing in terms of getting more development budget is really going to be shown for like another 6 to 12 months. So it's hard to say that immediately this is a huge win. You know, Netmarble could also decide, hey, you know, all of that money we are giving to Apple, well, we just want to take it for like our big fat corporate bank account, and we want to invest it in buying more casinos or something, because they've been buying like a crap load of like casino games, man. So yeah, they might do that, dude. They might do that, but like we'll see what happens, dude. I really, really hope that, again, kind of this gives a good foundation for the people working at Marvel Contest, the champions that want to build out the game, want to build out new game modes, kind of stabilize the foundation. Because, you know, there's good and there's bad people, or there's people that have the interest of the game and interest of, you know, the corporation and, you know, their personal performance, financial related targets as priority. They're, you know, it's the deal with any business, man. So I hope that at least the people who have the wider interest of the longevity of the game, the satisfaction of the community, I at least hope they can get like a really good voice in and start making some good arguments for just getting a bit more budget to stabilize stuff, you know, do what needs to be done for the long term, and just make some really good modes of gameplay. So we'll see, dude. Again, it's going to be a while before we really know the outcome of any of this, but yeah, just be really careful. I kind of see this as just an outlet where people will try to scam you. Never click any links. Always make sure you go through the official channels, bookmark this store, bookmark the official MTOC page. Just make sure that you're being savvy when it comes to this, because I'm almost 100% certain that at some point, somewhen, somebody is going to try and do that. So just trying to make you aware to the best of my knowledge and possibility. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy my thoughts today, please do smash that like button. If you've got anything to add, chuck it in the comment section. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.